Hello everyone and welcome back to Total Football Talk. So we're going to have a quick 10-minute roundup, all the latest news coming out of Manchester United just before we kick off the game against Arsenal. And we will begin with the headlines, and they are what we're looking at is Marcus Rashford going to Napoli, and the swap deal is off the cards now, according to Fabrizio Romano. We're now looking at a deal between the two clubs where it's purely financial. So Napoli are looking and interested in buying Marcus Rashford to take the place of Kvaratskhelia. I can't pronounce his name still. Who looks like he's off to PSG now. Bit of research into that. We've kind of seen that Kvaratskhelia, I can't pronounce his name. He is only on about £30,000 at Napoli a week, and it looks like obviously PSG are going to offer a lot more for him on that one. So I think he's going to choose PSG. That means PSG needs someone to come in as a replacement. So they need a replacement for him. Napoli need a replacement for him. Sorry. And it looks like Marcus Rashford is on that list. Now, for me, it comes back to the wages. Can they afford the wages? Can they afford them? Maybe they can. Maybe the money's in the kitty now whenever they sell their number 10 to Paris Saint-Germain, but I don't know whether they're going to, come out with the wages. We'll just have to see where that one goes to over the next coming days. But it does look like Marcus Rashford is going to go because he's not in the squad today against Arsenal. So it looks like he's not in the travelling squad. So that's 6 games in a row he's now not played. Marcus Rashford is at a stage where he needs to be careful, I believe. If he doesn't get a transfer, he's in a bit of a sticky situation. He's gone 6 games without actually playing, so that means I think his match fitness, his match sharpness is probably gone. Yes, he's had a rest, so he will be fresh if he does move. But where is he going to go? That is the question. And the other bit of interesting news around Marcus Rashford is we believe that Zlatan Ibrahimovic is now acting as almost like an intermediate for AC Milan. He believes that with his links with Manchester United and Rashford, he believes that he can be the go-between that gets him across the line for AC Milan, because we know AC Milan are still interested in him. So that's, Napoli are very keen, and obviously they have a spot available now. AC Milan, we know, are very keen. But again, comes down to wages. As we've said before, Morata's on 150 or 60,000 a week. Obviously, Marcus Rashford's going to be looking for a lot more than that. But will he get the 350 plus what he's on at United? I don't think so. So again, wages are an issue. Both clubs, I think, can afford a fee. I think Napoli can obviously afford it if they sell Kava Kvaratskhelia, and AC Milan potentially loan deal to the end of the summer, and then maybe they can buy him in the summer. So that's where we are with those two things. And then the other interesting bit of news that came out around Napoli is that they're also interested in the Garnacho situation. Like, obviously Garnacho is going through a bit of a kind of up and down time. He, like Rashford, was frozen out for a little bit, but he's now back in the squad. He's now back kind of giving his all. He's played well in the last couple of games when he's come off the bench, or well, the last game anyway, against Liverpool. He did pretty well, set up a goal, and was highly influential in that win, which was brilliant. Or not the win, sorry, the draw. God, it feels like a win. But the draw, he cut the ball back to Ahmad, who scored, which was brilliant. So Garnacho is now on the radar for Napoli as well. Again, because I believe he fits that left-sided bill, that Kvaratskhelia will be leaving. And obviously Rashford and Garnacho were both kind of vying for that left-sided position at Manchester United, because they're both wingers that like to run into space and cut in and get their shot away. They're maybe not as creative as Kvaratskhelia. I'll just call him Kava from now on because I'm butchering that name. So similar types of players in some way, but maybe not as creative. Maybe Garnacho is probably more creative maybe than Rashford, and he's a younger player, so he can be molded into something. And that's where we are with that. So we'll be interesting to see if Napoli go. There's talk about 50 million on the table. Obviously, that's a lot of output from Napoli. It's almost not the entire budget that they've spent. They won't be spending their entire budget of what the money they're making off Kava. But yes, Garnacho is an interest to them. So we will see where that one goes. I would prefer if at this stage, I believe Garnacho is a very talented player. I believe there's more in him. So I'd like him to see him stay. But 50 million... At this stage, United would probably consider it. Whether I would consider it is probably irrelevant, but I'm sure they will consider it. And let's see where that one, how that pans out between now and the end of the transfer window. Okay, so the other little bits of news surrounding Manchester United at the minute are Kobe Minu. Amarin's come out in the press conference in the embargoed section and talking about Kobe Minu. Essentially, he said that Kobe is a very talented player, but the English press have kind of built him up into being something that he's not. As in, he's not the finished article. He's 19. He's got a long way to go. He has a lot of talent. I think Amarin believes in him. I think Manchester United believe in him, but I think they want to keep him hungry. They want to make sure that he stays at the club and he fights for his jersey, and he earns the contract that he's looking for at the minute. There's talk about £200,000 a week going on. And now if you look at that and the money that Rashford's on, and you look at the money like Anthony's on, and Casemiro and some of these other players that are on huge contracts, Casemiro's agent's probably gone in and said, well, look, let's just talk about this. These players are on this, and he's already in the team, not maybe more established, but he is earning his spot at the minute, so they probably believe that he deserves more. Yes, he probably does deserve more. I'd say possibly in and around the £100,000, maybe the same of what Ahmad's on. That figure would be a good starting point, and then from there, if he keeps progressing, he keeps learning, he keeps kind of moving and working in Amarin's system, then he can earn more contracts as he gets older and as he develops, because the ceiling is really high with this kid. And yeah, so we will hopefully work that one out. But I love the fact that Ruben Amorim wants to keep this guy hungry, like he wants to keep the entire squad hungry. He talked about the players being absolutely shattered coming off against Liverpool. That's what they need to be coming off every game, leaving everything on that pitch, fighting for that badge, fighting for us, and giving it everything. That those supporters that travel the games in, games out, they deserve to at least just see those players collapse at the end of a game and knowing that there's nothing left on that pitch. Just give everything. And that's what Ruben Amorim wants from all his players, not just Kobe, Minu, but all of them. Fight for the jersey, fight for us, leave it on the pitch, and give us some pride and something to kind of hold on to, because my God, do we need it. 13th in the league, shocker. And the FA Cup game coming up today. Okay, so that's where we are on that one, and it's probably the same across the board for all the players. They've all got to fight for the jersey. They've all got to fight for it. He talked about Ugarte in particular as well, and he said that he believes that Ugarte is a better player from the player that he had at Sporting, and I believe that's because he's gone to PSG. He's learned up some very, very good players, in and around better players. He's technically improved now. He's better on the ball, and his passing between the lines is much better from what Ruben has kind of mentioned so far. So that's brilliant. He is a scrapper. He is a fighter. He's from Uruguay. That's South American desire, and that's all they know. They just know football. South Americans, Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, all those South Americans just they just live for their football. They die for their football. Whereas Anthony would die for his football in respects that he would just find a way to be able to recoup some of the stuff that he had, some of the skills and the technical ability he had when he came from Ajax, because a lot of that seems to have disappeared for him. But in general, these players, these younger ones anyway, Casemiro is probably in the same. He's coming towards the end of his career, and we know that he was a brilliant player, but maybe he's gone towards the tail end of his career. But Ugarte is an absolute, he's a winner, born to desire to win, which is brilliant. Hopefully he will keep fighting for the jersey, keep fighting for us, and if he's getting better and Amarin's loving it, then happy days, all the better for Manchester United. And what we need is all the other players to feed off his desire and his will to win, and if they all kind of have the same will to win and that can spread throughout the team, brilliant. And if Marcus Rashford is feeling that he is isolated a little bit, and hopefully we can help the whole situation, Manchester United and Marcus Rashford, by getting a transfer out, whether it's AC Milan, whether it's Napoli, we'll just have to see. By the end of the January transfer window, I believe that this will really help the club move forward, because Ruben is the right man. He's trying to make all the right moves, and in a very, very difficult situation, because he's got an unbelievably difficult job. But so far, I believe he's doing what he can with what he has, and and hopefully we can be all right. Fingers crossed. Match day, Arsenal today. We play them in the cup, third round, massive game, best and biggest game of the weekend. We've got great history with Arsenal. That we've knocked them out in '99, and back in 2004, they beat us in the final. We played them quite a lot of times. There's been a lot of ding dongs, and I think this one will be another one. Do I think we can win it? I'm slightly concerned with our goalkeeper because Bayinder's back in nets, and I know he's had a tough time, so we'll have to see if he can, kind of just get himself together and be ready for the physical fight that Arsenal are going to put him under, especially when it comes from corners. And the rest of the team, if they can just fight and play with their heart and use their skills that they have, maybe we can nick it. I don't know. Maybe we can nick it on penalties, or get a draw, and there's no replays anymore. Nick it on penalties, and yeah, move forward. I'd love us to knock Arsenal out of the cup and go a little bit further. We're the holders. It's our responsibility as Manchester United to fight to the end and try and keep this cup alive, considering we're only the very start of it. Okay, guys, thank you very much. That's the quick roundup of all the news that I have so far coming out of Manchester United. Thank you very much for listening. If you're enjoying the content, please subscribe, and hopefully, please give me a like on it. We really, really appreciate that. And if you want to share the content, brilliant. If not, totally understand. Yeah, thank you, guys, and I will see you on the next one. And hopefully, I will get better at this as I talk to you more. Thanks, guys. Bye.